Hi everyone, my name is Lee Patrick, and today I'm going to talk to you about red straggler stars. Now, red straggler stars are binary post-interaction products that have previously undergone a stellar merger and that have since evolved to the red supergiant phase. And that's really nicely illustrated by this evolutionary diagram or evolutionary track of tau score here, where this merger product very rapidly evolves onto the main sequence, and from that point behaves like effectively a single star, which in this case evolves to the red supergiant phase and then explodes as a type 2p supernova. Now, because binary evolution is so prevalent in massive stars, one expects the frequency of stellar mergers to be really quite high in all evolutionary phases. Now, we see evidence for this evolution or this binary evolution at very young stellar phases, and in particular in young massive clusters in the galaxy. Binary evolutionary products become really quite important quite quickly in the understanding of the appearance of the massive star population in such clusters. And today I'm going to talk to you about how we can explain the age spread of red supergiant stars in apparently coeval clusters as the contamination effects from stellar mergers. Now, young massive clusters are the absolute ideal environments to test this kind of physics with of stellar evolution. And that's because these clusters can be essentially thought of as at a fixed age. And now between an age range of around 5 to 50 million years, young massive clusters display rich populations of red supergiant stars. And in fact, these two star clusters that I'm showing here, NGC 330 in the Small Magellanic Cloud and NGC 2100 in the Large Magellanic Cloud, show around 20 red supergiants each. And from a sort of identification of red stragglers point of view, what we're expecting to see is some stars that appear kind of too bright for the age of the cluster. So that's exactly what we find when we go away and study the luminosity distribution of red supergiants in these clusters. And by converting the luminosities that we determine into ages, we find what's called what we call an age spread. And this age spread is too large to be interpreted from a single age effectively, which one would expect from a coeval cluster. Now, our interpretation of this age spread is that red stragglers are sort of evolving from blue straggler stars and contaminating this diagram at the high luminosity end or the young age end. And we sort of go further than this and determine the red straggler fraction using the sort of evolutionary timescale of red supergiants argument. And we determine the red straggler fraction to be around 50% in both of these clusters. Now, such a high fraction is supported by our recent modeling work using population synthesis models, which predict actually a larger fraction than 50%. Now, the ultimate goal of this study is to be able to chemically tag individual stars and say, you're a red straggler, you're a single red supergiant star. Now, we aren't there yet, but we think there's signatures when one sort of folds in the luminosities of this star of mergers in these star clusters. So to summarize, red straggler stars are red supergiant analogues of blue straggler stars. these stars appear more luminous and because of that younger than their single star counterparts. And red straggler stars can be indirectly identified using the luminosity distribution of red supergiants in young star clusters. And by doing this, we find that around 50% of red supergiant stars are actually red straggler stars. Now, as for a sort of controversial statement provoked by the organizing committee, my statement would be that most red supergiant stars are actually red straggler stars. So thank you very much for listening.